chew the fat and give our gut reactions on all things pop culture, film, TV and theatre. We talk to legends in the creative industry and those on the rise. We game old school. We support independent creatives. Got a project? Tell us about it. Get in touch. We do all of this, and a whole lot more. Like, subscribe, get involved. Join Steen Anthony Nielsen and the Outcasts Creative.
Hello. What's going on? It's Saturday night in the UK. It is 1 minute past 10. I've just got a couple of new things in my film collection. Hang on, I've got to pause the TV over here because I just tested one of them to see if it would actually play. It is playing. I put on English subtitles, but I'm not getting any translation for the titles on screen. So I'll talk about that briefly. I'm going to do a separate stream on this. This is a film called Warsaw 44, which I actually first saw the poster for at the Cannes Film Festival market in, I think it was 2019. And this is a imported Polish DVD, which fortunately comes with English subtitles, so whether I can get them to work remains to be seen. It's got this really lovely booklet, and clearly is a labour of love from all the people involved. God knows how many production companies were involved in this. I've seen the film many times. I tracked it down as soon as I came back from Cannes. Made sure I watched it straight away because it's a true story of World War II. Also, the Battle for Warsaw 44 is a really interesting moment in history, and it sort of showed Stalin's true colours for time to come. The Allies did what they could to help, but I mean, that's a story for another time. Anyway, I'm not talking about this today, but I am going to do a stream on this separately another time. So we are going to be talking today about The Offer. Now, if you haven't seen this series, look, it's just arrived. It's still in the shrink wrap. I haven't even opened it yet. If you haven't seen this show, you absolutely should. It's the true story of the making of The Godfather, told primarily from the perspective of film producer Ruddy. Now, as you can see, there's a pretty heavyweight cast involved in production. I'm going to talk about them shortly. But what's also interesting is that my good friend Dexter Fletcher, he actually directed the first 2 episodes. He's also an executive producer on the entire thing. And I'm hoping, he's a good friend of mine. His brother was actually my acting coach. And I'm hoping that Dexter, who directed 2 episodes of The Offer, I'm hoping he'll come on the show at some point to talk about it. And let me just say from the outset that this is a show that if you haven't seen it, absolutely track it down and watch it. It came out in 2022, so we were still sort of in that weird period after the pandemic. It was a strange time. But before I go any further, I think we should have a quick look at the trailer. Now, I'll probably have to edit this trailer out later, but I really do want to show it. So let's have a quick look at it. Here we go. Just going to turn my camera off for a sec. All right, and this is the true story of the making of The Godfather. The Offer. It's available on Paramount Plus, but the Blu Ray is now also available. Let's have a quick look at the trailer.
Listen here, Bob. Paramount is going to come crashing. We need hits.
You've read The Godfather, right?
Godfather.
Sure. Who hasn't? We've been all over town. No one wants to make this movie, so I need you to produce it. Get going.
I can't believe you told me you read it. You better read fast on the plane.
Oh, yeah, that's big. The Godfather is bringing us too many problems. You want me to take care of it?
Gangster movies are dead.
This is not just some gangster film.
We need someone who understands Italians. For instance, Ford Coppola. He's got a great vision.
We have to put this in the picture.
The scene about gangsters arguing over sauce?
No. Scene about family arguing over sauce.
I got no cast.
Do you think Pacino is actually a possibility?
Cut it!
No Pacino.
Marlon Brando is interested.
He's a nutcase.
Can one thing go right with this picture?
You want to make a movie that's going to make my people look like animals, and that ain't going to happen.
I respect what you're saying, and I think I have a solution to our problem.
You're still gonna try and make this thing?
I got no choice.
I took a chance on you, and you stabbed me in the back.
I won't judge you if you need to walk away from this.
I'm not running either.
This is what it's all about. The excitement. The thrill. That's movie magic, baby.
Take it away, boss.
All right. Let's stop right there.
Well, I'm very honored.
Hang on. Let me get rid of that. All right, okay. So the offer. Now, the key guy who got this project off the ground is a producer. Most of you won't have heard of him. It's often the case with these kinds of roles. Is a producer called Leslie Grief. So Leslie Grief is one of the two main people involved in getting the offer off the ground. And he also produced the series Hatfield and McCoy's Sun Records, which was unfortunately only got one season, but I quite enjoyed that show. I own the Hatfields and McCoys. That show was all right. I felt it could have been a bit stronger. Kevin Costner's The West is a documentary series that he was an exec producer on, which I've also seen. But The Offer is an absolutely outstanding piece of drama television. I mean, how can you not be interested in watching the story about the making of one of the most superb motion pictures of cinema history? I mean, The Godfather is a film that in many ways is unequaled in its genre. Now, I just want to obviously give credit where credit's due. So Michael Tolkien, some of you will have heard of him, been around for a long time, been involved in a lot of projects. He also developed it, worked on the story, worked on the script, and then you had a writing team which consisted of Nicky Toscano, Russell Rothberg, Mona Myra, and Kevin J. Hines. Now, so that's your writer's room. But this is, I mean, for my money, this is an example of what can happen when you put a great team together. You've got an absolutely fantastic cast. So let's just go through some of the big names of the cast. You've got Miles Teller playing the lead role of Albert S. Ruddy, who is the producer whose responsibility it was for Paramount Studio, a failing studio at that time, to get The Godfather made into a movie. Matthew Good absolutely steals the show in this series by playing Evans, the producer. Now, a lot of you will know that there was a documentary made about Robert Evans, notorious Hollywood producer. He's no longer with us, called The Kid Stays in the Picture. Now, that's a very pro Robert Evans biography, which talks about how great he is. But it's a compelling story. You've also got Dan Fogler playing Francis Ford Coppola, Bern Gorman playing Charles Blooddawn, who's a studio head. Colin Hanks is playing Barry Lapidus, who was occasionally trying to shut the production down. Giovanni Ribisi is playing Joe Colombo, whose kind of interests are basically that the mob should not be misrepresented or indeed represented at all in the film. And then you've got the amazing Juno Temple, who plays Benny McCart, who's essentially Albert Ruddy's assistant. Various other people in the cast as well. I'll give some shout outs to some of them a bit later. One of my favorite character actors, Paul McCrane, who a lot of people will remember from RoboCop, is also in the film. So what is it that makes The Offer so good? Okay, well, I mean, first of all, the story of the making of The Godfather is a fascinating story in its own right. They had a lot of problems trying to shoot it. They had a lot of problems trying to cast it. Al Pacino didn't want to do the part of that he was given. He wanted to do the part of Sonny that was ultimately went to James Caan. So you have the story of trying to get the actors on board. The studio didn't want Al Pacino. They thought he was completely wrong for the role. So there's a lot of stuff like that in the film, in the show that gets explored. It's 8 episodes, I believe. And I've seen it all the way through twice, both times in 2002. I watched it all the way through, and then I watched it all the way through again. And I said to myself, when this show comes out on Blu Ray, I'm going to get it. And something has to be really good for me to want to own it on Blu Ray, because at the end of the day, you can't take your film collection with you when you die. And once you hit your 50s, if you haven't got kids that you're showing these films to, you've got to ask yourself, really, how many more times am I going to watch this movie or this show in my lifetime? You know, your time becomes precious, and how you spend your time is important to you. Is this something I'm going to watch again? The absolute answer to that is yes. I will probably watch this 2 or 3, maybe 4 more times. It's a bit like The Shield, you know. It's The Shield. I've watched The Shield all the way through probably 7 or 8 times, and every time I watch it again, I enjoy it just a little bit more. The Offer is the same. The performances in The Offer are so good that every time I watch the show again, I spot something new. The actors are excellent at picking up on little nuances of the people that they're playing, but also kind of putting their own spin on those characters without making them farcical, without getting them away from the real people. Dan Fogler is particularly good as Francis Ford Coppola, and like I said before, Matthew Good completely steals the show with his performance as film producer Robert Evans. In fact, the scenes with him are some of the funniest scenes in the show. You have to see his performance to believe it. I've always been a fan of Juno Temple. I think the first thing I ever saw her in was like a small indie film, the title of which I'm struggling to remember. Good to see you, David. But I've been a fan of hers from day one, and I like the projects that she chooses. And I really hope as an actress she doesn't kind of mess with her face and do, you know, the whole Meg Ryan thing and what so many other people have done. Just I'd like to see her still doing great roles in her 70s if I live that long. But yeah, she's fantastic. My seat is sinking. What's going on? So anyway, let me move on. So Jake Cannavale, I think that might be the younger brother of Bobby Cannavale, but I'd have to check that. We'll have a look at that in a bit. He's plays another role in the show. Of course, it's a period piece, so there's fantastic attention to production design details in this show. They also went to some of the real locations where they made the movie, and then of course there's also, you know, they go back into some of the same places where some of the shots were filmed, and they kind of recreate that stuff. I mean, it's just an incredible piece. What can I say? I love the way it ends as well. I don't want to give that too much away, but if you like your true story dramas, they don't come any better than this. And I mean, this really is a first-class piece, and I can't tell you how much I love this show. So the talent that put this together are really quite exceptional. Now, my friend Dexter directs the first 2 episodes, and the first I heard about it actually was when I was watching it, and his name came up, and I was like, damn, I didn't know he'd done this. I didn't even know. I think the first thing I heard about this was there was maybe trailers for it towards the end of, I want to say 2021, as of course we were, you know, coming out of lockdown, and been watching a lot of TV around that time because we were all kind of starved of stuff to watch. And I saw a trailer for this and I was like, the making of The Godfather. Now that's got to be a good story. Also, for anybody who doesn't know, I've got my own script about the making of The Magnificent Seven, which I'm developing as a TV series as well. So we've just had the play of that on in London last October. Might get it on again this year. You never know. You never know if I can get the funding, because funding is key. But this is really a show that anyone can enjoy. You don't need to be into the movie The Godfather to enjoy this series. You don't need to be into, you know, the behind the scenes stories of the making of movies. You just need to like a good story, because it is a good story. The true story of this really writes itself. And I think the actors relished playing these characters, these big, larger than life characters. And this production so easily could have been, you know, it so easily could have been average. It so easily could have not worked in the way that it was intended. But it really does. It just works on every level. Now, Justin Chambers, who's an actor I was not at all familiar with before I saw this show. He plays Marlon Brando, and I tell you what, he's good. And I was unsure about him at first, because talk about stepping into big shoes. I mean, when you're playing real life characters, you know, people that really existed, you've got to do due diligence. You don't want to stand them up too much or do them a disservice, you know, especially if they're people's folk heroes. But imagine stepping into the shoes to play Marlon Brando in the making of The Godfather. You've not only got to imitate the man, you've also got to imitate the man imitating the performance. So, and imitate that performance, if you follow what my drift. So that's very big shoes. That's very big shoes for an actor to step into with such an iconic character like Marlon Brando. Here's Dan Fogler playing Francis Ford Coppola. Now, if you look at pictures of Francis Ford Coppola on the set of The Godfather, these are the clothes, the spectacles, and the hat that he was wearing at the time. This is what his beard was like. In fact, his beard might have been slightly bigger than this. But yeah, it's all very close to the bone. This is one of Miles Teller's best performances. I think because it's a mini series and we've mostly seen him in feature films, he really gets something to do in this show. You know, it's an actor's series, this series. That's why the cast for this show is so good, because, you know, when people sign on to do a production that's good, it's got a great script. As soon as somebody reads that great script in the production office of an agency, word goes round pretty fast that, hey, that script is good. I had that with the Pegasus Bridge feature film script, and we had even actors like Henry Cavill even contacted us to about that production. Here's Matthew Good playing Robert Evans, and man, he nails Evans so well, because Evans was this sort of hyper, he was a hyper kind of full-on energetic force. If you haven't seen the documentary on Robert Evans, the film producer, one of the film producers of The Godfather, look up the movie The Kid Stays in the Picture. That's an interesting documentary, very pro Evans, but worth checking out. There's some very interesting stories told about Robert Evans by various other parties in different documentaries, and you can hear all about his interesting sexual appetite. But he certainly was a character, certainly was an old school Hollywood producer. One of the last films I think he produced was Sliver or Silver with oh my god, Sharon, lady from Casino. Somebody in chat will tell me in a minute. Her name's gone completely out of my brain. But yeah, Robert Evans had a bit of a comeback, bit of a resurgence with his career in the late 90s. And Bern Gorman is a character actor that I absolutely adore. He is fantastic. From the moment I saw him in Layer Cake, which was a relatively small role, I knew, I was like, this actor, we're going to see a lot more of him. And I was right. And he's so good at nailing American parts as well. I'm interested to know what else Justin Chambers has done. So I'm going to have a look at that in a second. But yeah, so we're just looking through the stills of the production. That's a great one of Justin Chambers playing Marlon Brando, playing the Godfather. What a great still. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. If you love the Godfather, if you're a big fan of the Godfather, you will absolutely love this series. Even if you're not, you will love this series. It's so funny. It's kind of gripping. It's hilarious. That would be a pretty typical night out for Robert Evans, right there. That would be that'd be a typical fun night for Robert Evans. Yeah. So I love the way they've even got the original style chairs. Yeah. Now this is the actor Anthony Ippolito. Plays Al Pacino, and this is one of the scenes where the director's working with him. It's the scene where Al Pacino's character comes out the toilet, he kills the two people, then has to go on the run. The first thing you see Anthony in playing Al Pacino, man, he just nails him. The voice is so spot on. It's like 2,000% spot on. The voice, so good. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a look at what the lesser known actors. Amy Carrero is really good in this as well. She's fantastic. Robert Evans there, just a normal night for him. So got some great still. Says the horse's head from the scene, the infamous scene. There's Sharon Stone. Thank you, David. Just had a slight brain fart there. Well, if you are a big fan of The Godfather, then why have you not seen this show? Because it's been out 4 years. And just like no one talked about it when it came out. And I saw it straight away. I was telling everybody about it. Good to see one of my fellow collaborators, Northern English, is here. Hello, sir. So yeah, if you, like I say, if you're a fan of The Godfather, you will love this series. I anyone who says it's no good, come on my channel and I will debate that with you. But this is it really is first class. You don't get many mini-series like this, and there's not many mini-series where I would say straight away, I'm buying the Blu Ray of that when that comes out. I have to have that. I have to own that. A bit like Band of Brothers, I have to own that. And this was one of those, and now I own it. So we'll have a look at what's on the Blu Ray in a minute. I haven't watched all the special features yet, but we will have a look. I'll open it on camera in just a second. You can see how well shot this is as well. There's Lou Ferrigno, by the way, who played the Incredible Hulk. He is also in this. I mean, it's an amazing cast in this show. Like I said, Miles Teller's best performance in my view. I really like him in this. She got the horse's head there. Yeah, she does. That's kind of interesting. I don't remember that scene, and I've seen it twice. Just seeing all these stills just makes me want to watch it again. I may well put this on before I conk out tonight. There's Paul McCrane, great character actor. Many people will remember him from RoboCop. We killed you. We killed you. And then he was, of course, in ER, where he played a doctor who had very bad luck with helicopters. Eric Balfour, yeah, decent actor. Seen him in a few things. Doesn't this guy look like super mean? This guy, this background guy. They cast him well. Play like a sort of mob heavy. Damn, he looks mean. Yeah. And that's Patrick Gallo, who is playing Mario Puzo, who wrote the original Godfather book. And again, they cast him well. He really does look like Mario. And there he is again. That's a better shot of him. So let's look at who else is involved in this. Let's look at the crew, and let's also look at some of the credits of the cast. What else have they been in? So I want to talk about the actors that play Al Pacino and Marlon Brando first. So let's do that. So we have, because I'm pretty familiar with everybody else's career. So Anthony Ippolito, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a 10 episode show. Sorry, not 8 episodes, 10 episodes. So he plays Al Pacino. As you can see, he's a good look for a young Al Pacino, because Al Pacino was quite young when he did The Godfather. I think that might be him on the red carpet for this. Yes, there you go. There's all the cast. Presumably for the first screening in 2022. So he has got just 13 credits on IMDb. And I remember actually when I looked him up thinking, wow, you know, this kid has not done much. And I kind of liked that, because if you're going to cast someone to play Al Pacino in the role of an actor, don't forget Al Pacino before The Godfather, he wasn't that well known. He'd done Panic in Needle Park. I can't remember if Cruising was before or afterwards. And he did a lot of small theatre. He was doing like off-Broadway theatre. That was his thing at the time. And he really didn't want to do The Godfather. He wanted to do the role of Sonny. He didn't want to do the other part. He couldn't relate to it. Whereas Sonny's a much more angry character, and he felt he could get into that. So it interests me that after this, he hasn't got many credits. And I'm thinking, why would that be? And I bet you that Anthony, I bet he's probably still acting. And I suspect he's probably doing theatre. So he may be on Broadway, stuff like that. Difficult to say, but he's fantastic in this. I can't wait to see him in another very different role. So I be keen to see him in something else. I want to look at the actor who plays Marlon Brando. Let me have some water here. My throat's getting croaky. That's better. Right. Find his name here. Where is he? Oh, you've got Frank John Hughes playing Frank Sinatra. He turns up in a few episodes. Danny Nucci is in there as well, another actor I really like. George Russo, good, yeah, he's another actor I really like. Nick Pupo playing John Cazale. He does a really good job as well. Have I gone past him? I must have done. Hold on, let's see. Here we go, Justin Chambers. That's it. Yeah, so Justin Chambers plays Marlon Brando, a former fashion model, no less. Okay, started modeling in Paris. Born in 1970. God, you know what? He doesn't look, that's my age. He doesn't look that that old, but then, you know, moisturizer, if you're using it every day for 30 years, can do wonderful things. Has 5 children with his wife Keisha, model agency booker, whom he met while he was modeling with Calvin Klein. They've been married since 1993. Good on you, sir. I love it when you hear those long-term loving relationship stories. That's nice to hear, isn't it? Yeah, we do the best to live a low-key, non-Hollywood kind of life. Good for you. Good for you. All right, what else has he been in? Let's have a look. Wow, okay, so he's a major character of Grey's Anatomy, which is a show I dipped in and out of. Oh, that's right, I do recognise him from that 360 episodes. So, you know, that's a living right there. So that's his key acting gig. Dr. Alex Karev. All right. Also in a TV show called Swedish Dicks. Interesting title. Lakeview Terrace, I remember that. The Zodiac I've seen. Just want to see the rest of his credits, just to see if there's anything else I've seen him in. The Musketeer. I quite like that version of 2001. Shame it's got such a low rating. That feels a bit undeserved. The Wedding Planner. Also in that. Okay, and he's just done Accused. Did I see that? I feel like I did see Accused. Chronicles Ordinary People Getting. Yeah, these are several different stories. That's right. I have seen this. Each episode's like a different story. I watch anything with Michael Chiklis in. I like Sean Doyle as well. He's another actor I really like. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked, going down a rabbit hole there. So what can I say? Justin Chambers, great in this. Lovely to read his personal story there. I really love that, mate. Good on you. Good on you, Justin. It's always nice when someone finds the love of their life and it works. Yeah, so the series is also on Amazon Prime. Okay, great. I didn't know that. Yeah, this is all covered in this series. So do watch it. I'm telling you, this show is absolutely excellent. I can't recommend this show highly enough. All right, I want to have a look at some of the other production team. I want to look at the production designer, the costume people, because I want to give them a shout out. By the way, this is trending, in case you think I'm talking out my arse, this is trending at 8.6 out of 325 reviews on IMDb. So it is already a highly rated show. It just seems to be a show that not that many people saw. And I get that, you know, when it dropped, Paramount Plus was relatively new. A lot of people didn't have it. Some people probably saw this on Pirate. And, you know, others maybe waited till the physical thing was available. Again, if I see a show that is this good, I always want a physical media copy in my collection. Wow, that's a lot of walk-on parts. Look at the size of this cast. Huge. Okay, so there you go. There's Dexter Fletcher, who was the lovely brother of Graham Fletcher Cook, who was my acting coach and mentor in the world of acting. But I also went to a couple of workshops of Dexter's, and Dexter and I kept crossing paths in life, so we've met many times. Really lovely guy. Can't say enough nice things about Dex. Extremely well liked in the industry as well. So Isabella Summers did a really good job with the score. So I just mentioned that. Now there's two cinematographers on this. So I wonder if that's a case of, I guess they had different units doing different episodes, it looks like. Wow, and you've got 5 art directors. Shannon Walsh is a name that I know in that world. Casting director John Papasadera. Well, what a fantastic job. I mean, you know, this is a first-class cast. So the production designer is Lawrence Bennett, who, of course, the art directors work underneath. So you will have also seen his work on The Artist. Yeah. The Next 3 Days, I saw that at the cinema. Billions, he's done 12 episodes of Billions. The Duce, yeah, saw that. The Resident, Sneaky Pete. Yeah, so I've seen a fair few things that he's worked on. Traitor, okay. Grey's Anatomy, interesting crossover there with one of the cast. Yeah, and he's been in the game since 1986. So you're talking about a very experienced production designer who's been nominated for one Oscar and has 3 other awards to his name. Shannon Walsh is a name I know. Let me have a look at what else Shannon has done. Star Trek Picard, art director. Yeah, well, you know, it was all right. The art direction was all right. Okay. So only 11 credits. Let's know that name, but I don't know where I heard it before. Let's see what else. Makeup is fantastic. I don't know who the chief makeup artist was. It could be Helen. That looks like a Greek name, Kalajamos. Yeah, I mean, because again, you're recreating period, you're recreating real people. Difficult job at the best of times. The second unit director or assistant director team never get enough credit. So you can see there's 7 of them there on the team. Massive art department. Now, production, sound mixer, sound designer Scott Sanders. Sound design is, people never talk about it, but it's so important on a movie. Now you can see that he's got 153 credits in the sound department. Worked on things like Kill Bill, Open Range, which is fucking awesome, by the way. Perfect Storm, End of Days. Supervising sound editor on See You When I See You, 6888, which my friend Milana Jackson was in. I've interviewed her on the channel. Absolutely phenomenal force of acting. One of the best actresses of her generation. Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's done a lot. Just need to look at the credits here. So, one of the Halloween reboots, Rambo, sound designer, Juno. Both of the first Halloween reboots. The Devil's Rejects, that's a good movie. But I don't think it kind of got the credit it deserved at the time. Almost Famous, I like. That's a good film. The Patriot, sound effects editor. Tell you what, the sound design on The Patriot is really, really, really good. Fair play, sir. Scott Sanders. So you've got a really top-end team working on this. So that really explains why it's so good. There's a few names in the stunt team that I recognise there. A few old hands in there. Yeah. All right. Wardrobe, very good on this film. Wow, these credits go. Look at all of them. I'm not going to start talking about the accountants, but yeah, I mean, just looking through the credits of the key people, it's a first-rate crew on board this show. So let's have a look at this summary. Reviewers say the offer is acclaimed for its engaging narrative, strong performances, an authentic 1970s Hollywood setting. Miles Teller, Matthew Good, and Juno Temple received praise for their roles. The series offers a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at The Godfather, though some note factual inaccuracies. High production values and immersive set design are highlighted, yet a few critics point out inconsistencies and anachronisms. Overall, the offer is a compelling watch for The Godfather enthusiasts and film production aficionados. I don't think it would only appeal to them, I have to say. I don't think they're the only people who are going to like this show. This is interesting. When Al Ruddy meets Francis Ford Coppola to discuss the Godfather project, George Lucas is clearly in the background with several other individuals. Now, I wonder if they're portraying George Lucas in the background because they were all friends, or whether they are. There you go. I've just rated it 10 out of 10. I thought I'd done a review for this already, but maybe I didn't. Yeah, the series reunites several of the cast of Band of Brothers: Colin Hanks, Ross McCall, Frank John Hughes, James Madio, and Kirk Acevedo. And additionally, the director of this series, Dexter Fletcher, was also part of the cast. So, yeah. Now, here's an interesting tidbit that I didn't know. Armie Hammer was originally set to play Al Ruddy, but was replaced by Miles Teller after he admitted to being 100% cannibal. Yeah, that was all really weird when that happened. You remember that? So weird. It just sort of came out of nowhere, and then suddenly it was like, damn, the guy's career was over. It's just like toast. So, have you seen The Offer? If you have, let me know your thoughts in the chat. If you haven't seen it, you absolutely should. It is one of the best shows you will see in a very long time. I'm going to have a quick look in the Blu Ray, which I've got here. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't. It's literally just arrived today. But I thought, you know what? I haven't really talked about this. I think we mentioned it on the Nielsen ratings when it came out. I recommended it to people. I said I must do a chew the fat on it, which I may well do this year. But yeah, I have to give it a plug because just not enough people have seen this show. And it's, this is first class television. It is up there with all my favorites. Now, that is supposed to be Bob Evans in bed with Ali McGraw, who at the time was married to who at the time then left him for Steve McQueen when she made The Getaway with Steve McQueen. So, and she really does look like a young Ali McGraw there. So another great interpretation. All right, let's have a quick look before I wrap this up. Already been on for 43 minutes, so I was only going to do a quickie. Let me open this thing. I'll take the wrapping off on camera here. So, by the way, this was about how much did I pay for this? I really rarely buy. I only buy physical stuff if I know I want to watch it many times, because, like I said earlier, you can't take your movie collection with you when you go. If you don't have kids that are going to be watching your films and keeping them, of course, Jason Flemyng's two young boys are going to inherit all of these from me. So, well, mine came with a big black hair in it. I wonder whose hair that is. It's not mine. There's a big long hair in here. Thanks for that, Amazon. So this is it's one of these fold outs with a series of discs. There's no booklet or anything. Of course, the discs are already falling out as they do. So it's 4 discs, I think. Yep, 4 discs. Right, and then we have, as stated on the back, and I checked this before I bought it, 2.5 hours of features and deleted scenes, behind the scenes featurettes, etc., etc., etc. It's better be region 2, as my multi-region DVD player is dead. Yeah, no, I think we're fine because it hasn't got that symbol on it. I did check before I ordered it. So the total show is 541 minutes, 10 episodes. Each episode's almost like a little mini movie. I can't recommend this highly enough. You will absolutely love this show if you haven't seen it. It's one of the best TV miniseries dramas, I would say, in the last 10 years. I would be hard pushed to put many at the same level as this in terms of overall casting, script, story, rewatchability. There just isn't many at this level in the last 10 years. So if you haven't seen it, watch it. Dexter Fletcher is indeed a legend, following his career from the Bugsy Malone and you mean Press Gang, yeah. Press Gang came to film at a paintball site I worked in London briefly once. I remember that. Dexter wasn't there, so that, yeah, I remember that day, and all the cakes they had for everybody from the catering department that got left out under lights, which was a really weird decision. So that's it from me for now. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I think I'm going to come back tomorrow to do Return of the King with Anna, my cousin. Going to talk about the art and production design on the third Lord of the Rings film. We've done the other two, the last two consecutive Sundays. I am out tomorrow, and I'm a little unsure of my time I'm getting back. So if we have to go back a bit later, we will. But I don't want to start the show any later than 9 p.m. UK time. So if that's the case, it may get pushed to during the week or the following Sunday. But hopefully I'll be back in time, and I should be able to do Return of the King with Cousin Anna tomorrow. So thanks for joining me on this impromptu stream. If you haven't seen The Offer yet, do check it out. It really is quite fantastic. And that's it from me. I will see you again probably tomorrow, subject to travel arrangements coming back from my shindig. Until then, we'll also be back on Tuesday at 9 p.m. with the Nielsen ratings, which is the new time for the Nielsen ratings every week. See you soon.
Today